what are the biggest perks of working in a place that relies so heavily on tourism?
I do enjoy, maybe this is more me, being from Minnesota, and this being kind of a place of pride for Minnesotans, if I may generalize, for me especially, when I can kind of like represent this area in a way. So when people come up, you're kind of their host while they're here, whatever touch point you have, if you're up on the ski hill or down in the lake. I like people's excitement about this area, and when they have questions, if you can guide them to great hikes or just tell them places that you're passionate about and they get excited. That's fun to me.
I think the fact that we're, if I have a Thursday, Friday off, and, just if she's got to work with the kids, got to be out of town, but I don't know. If I'm solo here, I can go get lost in the woods for a day. Well, like in August, I can go and I can go chanterelle picking for an hour and come back with like a bounty of delicious
things. Or more
things.
Because he forgets the time when he's doing so.
Whatever. My phone doesn't work.
It doesn't either. Thought he was at the bar, but he was lost hunting.
Yeah. In the springtime you get to forage for food. Like you can go and get, a bushel of ramps, or if you go a little west, you can get some morels. And, fiddleheads. You come up here about a month. Sure. Well, obviously, I like Papa Charlie's, or like up on the mountain. If I were a skier, it'd be awesome because I could just go skiing every day before work for free, right? Is that what you're saying? I mean, I think that'd be a good benefit. And like at Lutsen Resort, when we're working in the off season, if it's slower, like in April and November, I can take 15 minutes and go walk outside and like take agates for 15 minutes, at the beach.
When it's busy, you make decent money. So tourism kind of drives
What about the people you work with at the resort?
They flux so much. It's like that's where it goes to the negative. The positive part about having tons of people from throughout the world constantly coming through the resort. Sometimes they'll come back, sometimes they don't. We have made friends from so many different countries and people that we keep in touch with. We've had hosted people here for dinner from our most recent were from Jordan and Uzbekistan, and I mean, I don't know why else I would have met people from those countries if I had not gone there. Living in Chicago for 13 years, I didn't meet people from Jordan or Uzbekistan. So the cool part about working at Lutsen Resort, one of my favorite parts about it is meeting people from all over the world and befriending them in the sometimes short time they're there and hoping they'll come back. Jihad, one of our cooks last year, just finished medical school in Jordan, and he asked if he could be a busser next year because he wants to hone in on his English skills. And they didn't accept him initially because they didn't think his English was good enough. So I put in a good word with Cy and Dallery, and he's coming back as a busser, and he's so grateful. And I'm so excited to have him back and help him kind of work on his English skills so he can go practice medicine and save lives. I think that's really cool. I can't believe that man was making my salads last year. Somebody smashed their hand while they were working, and he saw to them. Just incredible. So the experiences with foreign folks is pretty awesome.
So I'm in the resort area 2 days a week, but I work my other job, my 9 to 5, my 6 to 5 is property management caretaking, right? So a lot of the vacation homes that people come and stay at for this resort area are taken care of by the company I work for, and I think that it's awesome because I get to practice my kind of trades that I love, whether it be like carpentry or painting or design in new homes or vacation homes, solely because there's owners that own these places that live in the cities that have lots of money, and then they rent these houses out to vacationers, which is any other county or town you wouldn't have the demand because there's no resort area, right? So I think it's cool because, for instance, we've been honing in on custom concrete countertops and just really unique things for remodels of homes. And I think if I lived in like Newark, Ohio, where I'm from, that wouldn't happen because people don't do this kind of things. They just they go to Lowe's and they buy a countertop and they put it in. So that's kind of cool, and I think that's a benefit of living in the resort area because of the money.
What about, you alluded to the negative things. What kind of challenges?
You got enough tape there?
Yeah. Do you face working and living in a resort and touristy area?
Oh,
The tourist mainly.
No. Having been, well, that has its things too. Having been in the service industry for 20 years now, and I take pride in the job that I do, serving food and drinks. The frustration is constantly you're training in, not even really training in, new people to do, not to generalize, ultimately often a mediocre job and make your job more difficult. So what I find frustrating is when we have help that isn't good and they don't live here, they don't have any skin in the game really, they're not going to get sent away. So oftentimes when they're not doing an excellent job, it doesn't really matter. And to them, because they're not going away, and to us, because we know they're just only here for a little bit of time. So it just makes your job a little more difficult, I guess. If we had a core staff of people who are locals and were here year-round, and this was their full-time work, like when Rob Grubb and I worked together, that's his bread and butter.
This is lifeblood.
He puts pride into what he does.
Yeah.
And we've had some excellent help from our foreign students, but when you have someone that isn't working out well and that's all you've got, or when you're facing that super busy time and there's no J1ers left, you can't do a good job. Like when the fall colors happen, everyone's summer visas end and they leave, and then we get super busy for like 2 weeks and we just get our butts kicked. And to the people who come here, they're like, why couldn't you staff for this? Well, we have like 200 people who live in Lutsen full time.
Right.
So we rely on those summer workers, and when they are gone, we're out of luck. So that would be my biggest frustration with in a touristy area, but just in a small pub in Chicago, my frustration was more like the regulars that you didn't enjoy. You knew would come in every day. You just have to embrace them, and you can act busy or do whatever, but you're gonna have to see them, and you're gonna have to listen to their nonsense. Well, with tourists, it's different, but the same, because ultimately they're all, I hate to generalize the people, but tourists, especially with families, bring the kind of same frustration.
What about the really super busy times when you're full of guests and then the locals also want to come in and be served like guests?
I think I mentioned this earlier. I think that like the reason that you and myself are in that industry is because we enjoy it, and the good outweighs the bad, and the negative is, it is what it is, but like, if you don't like doing it, like there's plenty of other things to do. You can go learn how to write like code for computers or something. Like negative things are negative things, and I don't like to dwell on that, and I think that like life is way too short to dwell on that. So that's just me cutting my life off. I don't know. Because
He's the picture of positivity.
I complain and bitch a lot, and I get it. But I mean, like, at the end of the day, like, you're there to do your job. And no matter what your job is, this is my own personal thoughts, is like, it sucks. But your job is your job, and no matter what it is, you should always strive to do your best at that job.